again we return to the Witness. Now, this is a little bit of a sad day, because you may have noticed that I am not where I left the previous episode. That's because I did an hour recording, and the recording failed for some reason, and I obviously did not notice until the end. So, what I have done is I have gone to the locations where I did the various bits of things that I did, and I've taken screenshots of those, which should be appearing as I tell you what I did last time. So, I was at the windmill having just seen the video that was some kind of art film of a man carefully carrying a lit candle from one side of a courtyard or something to another. Not quite sure what that was about, other than possibly, you know, if you don't succeed the first time, then keep trying. I then went back to the temple ruins, and I realized that if I stood at the correct angle, I could complete the panel that had the tree in the middle. And there were, I think, 4 ways that you can complete it, depending on which bulb you started at and which direction you went. And the way you were facing to do that would open shutters in the temple in that direction, apart from the front of the temple, because there weren't any shutters there. That would close them all. So, that showed that on one side, it gave me some access to natural puzzles. I did one of those, in that one looks like a goblet. And a little bit later I went to the nearby obelisk to show that was there. And then the other showed tree-like art that lined up with the grids that were just outside of the temple. Just looking at my notes. Right. The first one was easy and aligned well. The second one was a little trickier because there were some broken bits that you had to notice, which would have provided a block to the path you were taking. And then the third one was obscured by the ruins, but if you went outside you could see it, and then you had to reflect that onto the panel. Alright. That opened up a door to a courtyard of some kind, and then I went around to the rocky outcropping, the other side of the courtyard, and then the door that's on the other side, it wasn't trees that were defining the path, but a narrow slit between some rocks, is what I've discovered. So that opened up that door to the courtyard, which made passage easier. I then spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to get onto an overhang, because it felt like that would give me a better view of the courtyard, and I have not been able to figure that out. When I went back inside the temple, I noted that a grid panel had lit up that seems to be in about the same size as the courtyard, so I'm thinking that the features of the courtyard are meant to be features of that. My notes. Oh, I knew there was something I'd forgotten. Before I did all the stuff in the temple, I actually went back to the bamboo forest, and went back to that pink lit line and started following that. And so it was disappearing around to the left, and so I decided to try and see if I could go left anywhere. And there was one spot that was fairly well hidden that I had not previously found. Because I don't think I'd previously found it. I may have done and then forgotten about it. Now I come to think of it. But in any case, I found it, and that was the one that opened up the panel, or opened up the laser beam. So I got the bamboo forest laser beam done. Where else got? Right, so then I decided to check on my progress on the laser beams and came up here, and indeed all the panels were open, so I could do that. That revealed this grid. I have managed to do one of the puzzles there, so you'll see, if I look at it from this angle, you'll see that there are 3 bulbs and 3 endpoints, but when you click on an endpoint, when you click on a bulb, the 2 endpoints that aren't opposite it disappear. So each bulb has to go to its opposite endpoint. And I've managed to do the one that starts here and ends here, which opened up these 2 panels a little bit. So that was that. And then the other thing I discovered, let's see if I can remember where it was. I think it was by the suitcase. Yes. So there is an audio file here. Rather than giving a summary of it, I'm going to just go ahead and play it, and then we will continue with today. And I hope this is recording. I really do. It seems to be. All right.
Up there, you go around every hour and a half, time after time after time. You wake up usually in the mornings, and just the way that the track of your orbits go, you wake up over the Mideast, over North Africa. As you eat breakfast, you look out the window as you're going past, and there's the Mediterranean area, and Greece, and Rome, and North Africa, and the Sinai, the whole area. And you realize that in one glance, that what you're seeing is what was the whole history of man for years, the cradle of civilization. And you go around down across North Africa and out over the Indian Ocean and look up at that great subcontinent of India pointed down toward you as you go past it. And Ceylon off to the side, Burma, Southeast Asia, out over the Philippines, and up across that monstrous Pacific Ocean. Vast body of water. You've never realized how big that is before. And you finally come up across the coast of California and look for those friendly things. Los Angeles and Phoenix and on across El Paso. And there's Houston. There's home. And you look, and sure enough, there's the Astrodome. And you identify with that, you know? It's an attachment. And down across New Orleans, and then looking down to the south, and there's the whole peninsula of Florida laid out. And all the hundreds of hours you spent flying across that route, down in the atmosphere, all that is friendly again. And you go out across the Atlantic Ocean and back across Africa. And you do it again, and again, and again. And that identity, that you identify with Houston, and then you identify with Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and New Orleans, and everything. And the next thing you recognize in yourself is you're identifying with North Africa. You look forward to that. You anticipate it. And there it is. That whole process begins to shift of what it is you identify with. When you go around it in an hour and a half, you begin to recognize that your identity is with that whole thing, and that makes a change. You look down there, and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries you crossed again and again and again. And you don't even see them. At that wake-up scene, the Mid-East, you know there are hundreds of people killing each other over some imaginary line that you can't see. From where you see it, the thing is a whole, and it's so beautiful. And you wish you could take one from each side in hand and say, look at it from this perspective. Look at that. What's important? And so a little later on, your friend, again those same neighbors, another astronaut, the person next to you goes out to the moon. And now he looks back and sees the Earth not as something big where he can see the beautiful details, but he sees the Earth as a small thing out there. And now that contrast between that bright blue and white Christmas tree ornament and that black sky, that infinite universe, really comes through. The size of it, the significance of it, it becomes both things. It becomes so small and so fragile, and such a precious little spot in that universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All of history and music and poetry and art and war and death and birth and love, tears, joy, games, all of it is on that little spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize that that perspective, that you've changed, that there's something new there, that relationship is no longer what it was. And then you look back on the time when you were outside on that EVA and those few moments that you had the time because the camera malfunctioned, that you had the time to think about what was happening. And you recall staring out there at the spectacle that went before your eyes. Because now, you're no longer inside something with a window looking out at a picture. But now you're out there, and what you've got around your head is a goldfish bowl, and there are no limits here. There are no frames. There are no boundaries. You're really out there, over it, floating, going 25,000 miles per hour, ripping through space, a vacuum, and there's not a sound. There's a silence, the depth of which you've never experienced before. And that silence contrasts so markedly with the scenery and the speed with which you know you're going. That contrast, the mix of those two things, really comes through. And you think about what you're experiencing and why. Do you deserve this? This fantastic experience? Have you earned this in some way? Are you separated out to be touched by God to have some special experience here that other men cannot have? You know the answer to that is no. There's nothing that you've done that deserves that earned that. It's not a special thing for you. You know very well at that moment, and it comes through to you so powerfully that you're the sensing element for man. You look down and see the surface of that globe that you've lived on all this time, and you know all those people down there. They are like you. They are you. And somehow you represent them when you are up there. A sensing element, that point out on the end, and that's a humbling feeling. It's a feeling that says you have a responsibility. It's not for yourself. The eye that doesn't see does not do justice to the body. That's why it's there. That's why you're out there. And somehow you recognize that you're a piece of this total life. You're out on that forefront and you have to bring that back somehow. And that becomes a rather special responsibility. It tells you something about your relationship with this thing we call life. And when you come back, there's a difference in that world now. There's a difference in that relationship between you and that planet, and you and all those other forms of life on that planet, because you've had that kind of experience. It's a difference, and it's so precious. And all through this, I've used the word you because it's not me. It's not Dave Scott. It's not Dick Gordon, Pete Conrad, John Glenn. It's you. It's us. It's we. It's life. It's had that experience. And it's not just my problem to integrate. It's not my challenge to integrate, my joy to integrate. It's yours. It's everybody's. Russell Schweikart, 1975.
Okay, and while I think of it, there was something else which is... Go get the right angle again. There were two natural puzzles that I found. Starting about there. One going down this leg and one going down this leg. So, right. So the other thing was, I have been struggling to get the other two puzzles here done, and it was getting frustrating, and I don't really want to tackle that again just now. It occurs to me that this audio file we've just listened to is about perspective, and of course it also occurs to me that for any normal non-crazy player like me, discovering that first puzzle, the first laser beam by the windmill, people would have come and figured out where the beam went coming up here, could possibly have heard that audio if they had seen it, and then started thinking about seeing things from different perspectives. So, like comparing that to the waterfall stuff there. Now, as I was listening to that, I think I might have spotted another... Okay, this is not the right angle, but that is... I'm pretty sure that pink is a puzzle. Okay, so apart from natural puzzles, which I think are just like a bonus, is my impression. When I looked at the save pages, so I know that it automatically saves, and one of the things I was considering doing was seeing if I could go back to before the episode that I lost, repeating any few things that I needed to complete before where I started the missing episode, and then just do it all again. But that wouldn't really be fair. It's not, I would look smarter than I really was by figuring out everything straight away. But I think what I've captured should be enough to give an idea. So things I know that I still have to do. So there's the fourth of the hedge mazes over there in the castle. I think there were some sort of giant mazes where I had to walk and make the to light up the panel. I don't think I've done anything in this forest. What else? I've still got the trying to see where it is. The monastery or temple or whatever that's called to do, that's near the bamboo. And then there's the town. Let's see if I can get another look, different angle at that. And that seems to be making it worse. So yeah, and okay, there's some other place I need to be for that. Yeah, so right, that's what I was getting myself distracted. So I had considered doing a repeat of the last video, but the the save game that automatically saves seems wildly inconsistent. But it's told me how many puzzles I've solved. It gave me a bonus, which was not there in some of the early save games, and that suggests to me that um, the plus one is how many of the natural puzzles I've done. So I'm wondering if the natural puzzles aren't necessary to solve the game or to reach the end game, but they are therefore completionists. And I still haven't decided how much of a completionist I want to be. All right. So I'm going to come back to this. Oh, there's also understanding all the mysteries of the lake. Path down was this way. Just trying to have a look. Oh, and it feels like right. I've still got some videos to find, and it also feels like the the gate at the beginning where the you can only do it if you're starting a new game, or you find the secret as to how to make that path to reset the gate. There's just something about that makes me feel like it's special because of where it's located, and that unless you find the thing, you can only reset the gate, or you can only have the gate in a reset format at the beginning when you've done nothing and shouldn't know how to do it unless you've already done the game. So that one in particular, I think I want to find, but that means I need to find the solution to resetting that. Okay. I've done that one. There was a puzzle along the beach, I remember. Where was that? Was that by the ship, in fact? I think it was. Anyway, here is the temple. Oh. Oh. Maybe instead of this being represented by this courtyard out there, that it is in fact just the same as the yes. Does that look like it? Can't quite get. Get that circled out. Yes. Aha! Get the right angle. Where's the bulb? Bulb is lower leftish. Exit is upper right. Ah. Okay, wrong bit of branch. That looks more likely. Over there. Around there. To there. Where's my exit? Oh. Hmm. Get the right perspective. That. Right that above. Alright. Unless there's some. I have to have that to the left. Get that. It's not making sense. Oh, that's odd. Okay. Yeah, so I just spotted that corner of that branch has a big old circle on it. And then if I line that up, that's a perfect lineup. Okay, so I need to go left 2, up 2, left 1, up 1, right 2, down 1, right 1, up 2, and then all the way to the left. But yeah, I can't do it there. So left 2, up 2, left 1, up 1, right 2, down 1, right 1, up 2, all the way to the left. No. Left 2, up 1, left 1, up 1, right 2, down 1, right 1, up 2. No, that's not right. I've got to get there and all the way to the left, but I know I didn't go up 3. Right, it was left 2, up 2, left 1, up 1, down 1, up 2. Where's my bulb? It's in the top left. And again, that corner. Seems to suggest that it should go there. But do I have a broken branch? That lines up too well for that not to be. I'm going to guess I go down the right hand side when I get to the end of that branch. But okay. Is there some? Other branch that looks like it's broken off. That's too close for it not to be the basis. But that still leaves me with options. All right. What am I missing? What am I missing? That lines up way too well for that not to be the case. But where is the broken bit of branch that would indicate where it should have gone? I don't see, unless that's some kind of red herring, which doesn't feel like. Because that is way, way too close. So, where's the missing bit? Is that it? Is that a bit that's fallen off? So instead of, I mean, that's the only tiny bit of twig around. Okay, let's. Wait, so that would be down, left, down, two. Which down. Ooh. So that can't go from the top right there. Because if it. Right. If I went down, left, down, 2, that would bump into this place. Hang on. Okay. That is clearly thicker on this end. suggesting that that's the end that's broken off. So it'd be down to... I need to see it from the right perspective. I need to go down to left, down, which would suggest I take this path down to left, down, and then I follow that to there. So, down like that. Up there. Down to left, down, left, down, left, down. Up or out? What did you do? Aha. Aha. Oh, there's a nice little hole through that tree for it to... So I'm guessing that even though there are a ton of, well, I say a ton, that 7 laser beams is sufficient to open up what's going on the mountain. So I could potentially go and just do the mountain, and that feels like that could then be the end game. But there's also something, I don't know, there's something more satisfying about doing all of these, trying to get all of them. I don't even know how many I've got to do. Maybe I should go look at the lake. I wish there were a good spot that I could see the lake from, so I could see all of the lake in one go. And I've got to figure out... Okay, there's a clam or something there. That appears to be closed. Oh, is this the ship? This is the ship. Right. And there's an orange triangle leaf. And there was a triangle leaf puzzle, sorry, a triangle puzzle on the ship. Okay. Alright, I've got one in the middle there that's still not done. Okay, so there is a clam thing by the ship that is closed. That is a closed flower. That's a closed flower. So There's a... I don't recall seeing that before. Oh. Okay. This is the mountain, I think. And yeah, because she's holding a box. And that suggests to me that right, I bet she's been coming up as I light these, and so if I light some more of them, she'll be up even further, but because she's up with the box above, that's now sufficiently ready for me to do the end game. Alright, what's going on? Okay, there's a clam here that's open. Alright, hang on. So if... Okay, there's a flower there that's open, right near the mountain. So, what are things that I may not know the numbers of? So, I think we've got laser beams seem to correlate with that. I think the fountains are the obelisks, and that the fountain turns on when I find at least one natural puzzle that goes with the fountains. That would, if I can count the fountains and identify where they are, that would give me a way to count all of the natural puzzles. There was a... Right. There was an audio file by the ship, and there was an audio file that I just... Wait, what was that? Yeah, that's... Yeah, so that's all orange if I... in the water, and so that's all ship area, and that would suggest that that's the triangle puzzle on the ship. So are these flowers audio files? If they are, there's an awful lot of them. Okay, so if my conjecture is correct, somewhere over here I should find a where would that be? not too far from a lit thing. So I'm looking for an unturned on fountain that is roughly in the middle of the lake, because oh, there is a triangle leaf there that is not lit, or there's not orange. Okay, and then what's going to be the difference between the white and the yellow? Trying to find that puzzle and a non-working fountain. I wish there were a better place to view this from. There it is. Non-working fountain. Alright. Then I think I want to try and find a natural puzzle that's near here. So there's the non-working fountain. That means I should find an orange leaf that's that puzzle there. And then the clams. What's going on with the clams? See that in the long view. There, perhaps. That's not it either. Where to see that? I want to find one to complete my conjecture before my time is up. One there as well. Okay. All right. Okay, well, I think time is up. But now that I'm in this area, and yeah, I can get out again. It seems that we've discovered a new puzzle type. Alright. We've at least completed that to show that that conjecture is correct. So, I'm going to call it a day there. Hopefully this is recorded this time. And, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more. And I would love to hear your comments, but no spoilers, please. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.